Chatting away.
All right, everyone, welcome into our post-match press conference. We have Haley Hopkins and Elizabeth Ball. We'll start with questions in the room. Please state your name and outlet.
Hi, Tom Persley, Shea Butter FC. Haley, it seems like since you've been able to crack into the starting lineup, you've really taken that opportunity and ran with it. Is that mentality something that really kind of runs through the team as far as like the next person up when they get their opportunity? They just go?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been saying this all week where it's just like our training environment is, as competitive as it gets. And so when you're called upon, you just have to trust, you just know to trust your preparation and, make the most of it because you never know, how long it's going to be, what's going to happen. But, you take it one game at a time. And it's definitely been a little bit, confidence has grown after, after these games for sure.
And then you all, congratulations on your accomplishment.
Woo!
My hype. Love her.
I know as a defender, you always wanted to keep a clean sheet, but essentially for 90 minutes, you did keep a clean sheet. What can you say about the togetherness of both the back line as well as the goalkeeper with so many changing faces in those units?
Yeah, kind of going off what Haley said, like our preparation really just leads us into every single game. And yeah, we trust everybody on that back line and our keeper. And, no matter who's in what position or who's where, we know to trust the person to our left and right. And we know Mo's got us behind if anything goes wrong.
For both of you, obviously seeing a familiar face in a new place, and Ali Sentnor coming back to this building, I know, E-Ball, you had a moment where you might have kind of diced her up a little bit.
It's just, yeah.
Was playing against her, that remind you of training sessions that you've had with her, so that helps you better prepare for a player like that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Allie's an amazing player. She's so crafty on the ball. Obviously, you said I diced her up. I think I just took a touch around her. She's diced me up 100 times in training before, so maybe I got her back. Yeah, but no, Allie's an amazing player, and it's great to see her flourishing in LA, and we definitely miss her. But yeah, it was fun to play against her and kind of remember what she's got.
Yeah, she's an absolute threat out there and, great player and even better person. So really great seeing her, again. And I think I could speak for everyone, really, happy for her and, to see her doing really well.
Kathleen Geyer from the 9 Sports. Coach talked the other day, has not been very long since we've seen you.
Yeah, no kidding.
But going into especially this really tight stretch of games, with that toughness, with that relentlessness, how do you guys kind of check in throughout a really busy week like this?
Yeah, it's definitely first and foremost is taking care of recovery and doing everything you can in between these games to make sure you're sleeping and you're resting and all of that. And I'll shout out Alana here. She had a pretty, moving pregame speech that, we talked about. She talked about being out here is a privilege. And so I think, stepping out on the field today, that was such a pivotal turning point in things where you just really had just such reverence for the sport and reverence for the ability to be out there and be able to compete not only for ourselves but for each other and for something bigger. And I think that kind of motivation and that perspective was the different kind of shift that you saw in the team today.
And another game of really solid minutes for young player Amelia White. What have you guys kind of seen from her as she's gotten comfortable in this lineup?
Yeah, Amelia's growing every day. First of all, we are. But yeah, Penn Stater right there. But no. No, yeah, every day. Since preseason, she's just been growing every single day. And for her to get that goal last game was incredible, and she deserves it. And I can't wait to see the player that she grows into by the end of the season. We're just so happy for her.
Yeah, definitely thought she was going to have a couple more shots today. And I think, the run is running in the box. It was she's going to shoot that. And so really thought one was going to go her way again today. And so I just, respect the hell out of her for having the confidence to keep coming and dribbling at backline, charging them and taking, shots. Because we see it all the time in training and know, she's just really capable of greatness. So.
Emily Bartlett, Goalside Gossip. This is your 26th game undefeated at home so far. What are you guys seeing from the fans? How does it feel being here in the so-called fortress, being able to do that here?
Yeah, I mean, fortress is definitely the right word to say, and we know every time we step in, it's truly our 12th man, and I feel repetitive saying it, but, it's never not true, and so being able to hold it down and have the support and true, love of the fans behind us is such a difference maker when we're out there and feeling there's just the wave of the momentum and the crowd cheering behind us. It's a perfect reset button. It's the motivation we need, and, we're a different team without them, so it's been incredible.
Yeah, she said agree. 100% agree.
Perfect. Ladies, thank you so much for bringing head coach Chris Armas here shortly.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We have head coach Chris Armas in the room. We will start with questions in the room. Please state your name and your outlet.
Tom Pursley, Shea Butter FC. Coach, how would you assess the performance of this match? Because some of the underlying numbers would say that you kind of did what you wanted to do, but maybe didn't get the result that you were intending.
Yeah, listen, it was a good game. This is a good soccer game. Two good teams that went after it. They're talented roster we just played against. Probably they're close to their best team that they could, put out there. And I'd say that we met the demands of a really good game, which meant that we limited lots of what they try to do. We gave up 2 shots on goal in 90 minutes. Statistically, that's pretty good, right? And then we had 17 or 18 shots around there. And I think when we look back, we'd say in the very best games, the margins are even thinner. And if we're a little bit sharper on a few plays around the goal, which you got to give them credit, meaning Angel City, they defend very well. So, yeah, listen, I think the performance was strong, and I think more often than not, these will be 3 points when you can create some decent chances and not give up too many. So, I love the way they stepped on the pitch. We went down a goal. They had a good goal against us, and we had a good response, and I think we pushed the game.
And then, Coach, looking at FOTMOB, it says that you had 16 total shots, and 12 of those were inside of the box, which is obviously something that you've preached about before. When the team is doing the things that you're asking them to do and then not necessarily getting the intended results, how do you keep on preaching that this is going to get the results and performances that you want as the coach?
Yeah, listen, I appreciate that, and I'm in the business of coaching and leading, but convincing. I propose a way, I propose ideas, and the players can bring it to life. And I think the best part about it is you can see in and around goal when there's a lot of bodies that our players are trying to, as we say, upgrade shots. Sometimes is it one extra pass too many sometimes, but we are trying to eliminate opposition to upgrade the shot by getting closer to goal, higher XG. So 12 shots inside the box. Again, oftentimes you can nick one and maybe you score, but I love that we're trying to do the right things for the right reasons in our world. And then in a couple of days, we're right back to work to get better at who we are. We have a DNA, and we're going to get better at who we are. But yeah, again, like I said, I liked what I saw in many ways.
Hey, Coach, Kathleen Geyer from the 9 Sports. In addition to planning and kind of crashing the box like that, it feels like the last couple of games we've seen some of those kind of frantic reaction goals, and maybe both of Haley's this week. How encouraging is it to see that on top of what you're already doing, just how well they're kind of communicating in there and reacting so quickly?
Yeah, if you're ever out at our training facility, we have a certain area outlined in red, and that's for attacking and defending, where games are decided, which is the goal zone. And again, we have a way of playing, and then we just pull little pieces out of there, and that's what our training sessions look like. But we don't. I always say if you want to learn to play a piano, you don't get up and run around the piano. You play the pianos. We want to get better at scoring goals and defending goals and second balls and those little forcing coincidence moments. We try to get better at that. So that's what our training looks like all the time. Things that go to goal, things that end with shots, and it becomes a numbers game in there. But we do. I said it for a while now. Early on, without Cooper and Temwa early on, we were going to have to, or not, but be a team to be dangerous without them, and maybe we can be more dangerous with them. And I think we're seeing that there's a real way and idea around goal, and so part of it is crashing the box and being really alert and rebounds and where we shoot from, where we cross from, where don't we do those things, and we just rep it. And again, I give all the players credit because I'm not joysticking. It's not FIFA video game like my kids play, even though they're 21 and 24 years old, still doing it. But they bring it to life.
Some more really solid minutes for Amelia White today. Just what have you seen from her, especially this week with kind of quick turnarounds and being able to jump in there and contribute?
Yeah, look, I would say, I even just said it to E-Ball as she was walking out. I said, I thought you played great today. Now, I know you asked me about Amelia, but I said to her, E-Ball, the greatest reward for a player is to play well. Because you can't win all the time, but I know E-Ball is going to feel good tonight. She showed up, and it was a really good game against a really good striker, and they kept bringing in opposition. You got Ali Sentner in the pocket. It's just a tough game for our defense. The point now with Amelia is, for her, I think she has needed the confidence from us, of course, but she also has to gain the confidence from playing well and having good action. So you can see her confidence, not from the left-footed shot that almost went in upper corner. It was great. But the hold-up play, the little connection, smaller connected passes, and sometimes if you're a little tense, and which is natural and normal for young players, I saw a more confident player. And that, which comes first, good performances, and then you get confidence, or you have to have confidence, and then you might get more minutes. But together, we're in this together. She looked confident. I'm happy for her. Again, a good reward for her on the night.
Gossip. I know you just mentioned her, but going into a game against Ali Sentnor, player you just coached just a little bit ago, what was the preparation like for that?
Yes, we knew the spaces that Ali would operate in. We used her in a similar role in those spaces underneath. When we had her here, we didn't have Jan's daughter as well, that counter threat all the time. We have Temwa in other ways, that players that open up the space behind open up the space underneath. So I saw at one point, she's jumping in the air because she's wide open in those pockets. And I'm yelling to our sixes, come on, you got to watch out for Ali. So it was fun trying to prep to against her. She's obviously such a talented player. She's hard to play against. She's shifty. She had some really good moments on the night. Even in the box, she got close and we defended well. But we had our hands full prepping for Ali. She said to me just now, yeah, it was such a battle out there. I said, yeah, probably fair, 1-1. And I wish her well, for sure. I'm happy for my time with Ali.
Coach, 3 matches, 8 days, 4 points. Last time you kind of had that run, you weren't nearly as successful. Does that kind of indicate some a growth in belief or in the game plan, or growth in player development, or just growth in team togetherness?
We're evolving, for sure. We're getting better all the time, getting it better at who we are. We come out of the week mostly healthy, right? And closer to being, healthy with Cooper getting closer, Kayla Sharple's getting closer, Lorena getting closer, and other players at the same time have gotten opportunity, right? So now we wouldn't have seen some of this with Amelia White as much, if we're being honest, not as many minutes, but I think that also makes our team better. We want to be our best when the best games come, which is, 12 games from now. But we are having to dig deep. We're being pushed. We had good performance in Boston. Might have won that on a different day. Some big moments. We had a decisive victory midweek. And then on 2 days rest, we just went up against a team that had full week's rest. And we pushed them in a really good way without some of our best players too. But most importantly, that the players that went on the field tonight, they played to win. They gave it. Fans don't have to wonder how much it meant to that team to try to get that victory. But teams do gain confidence from this. We got 4 points this week. We take it. I don't know if we crept up the standings a little bit, not sure, but we're in and around it. So this is something to build on. We're a much different team than we were in February.
Okay, cool. Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, everyone.